guys, and welcome back to Extra Roly. How you're doing? What is the tea? What is the Darjeeling Lapsang Souchon? What is the scalding hot Assam? Anyway, hello everyone, welcome back to my second channel. So I kind of want to come on today and just sort of, I don't mean to just be sort of like all doomsday, but I just want to chat about things and my thoughts and recent events and stuff. I've been asked multiple times now about my feelings about certain issues that have just been happening and how I feel about the future. And I just want to kind of chat about my fear and just some things that kind of on my mind. You know, this is what my second channel was all about, just sort of chatting about stuff. And I've just been mulling things over to myself a while. I feel like I'm not spiraling, but just kind of I just need to chat about stuff because my mind's going a bit crazy. I really just want to hear your input, to be honest. I really just want to hear what you think about this, your thoughts and opinions. And if I'm crazy, do you think I'm crazy? Or like what? Just the whole tea. So, right, where the hell do I start? So, of course, some recent events that happened. I have to be very careful about how I word this because of like YouTube's algorithm. But as we all know, a certain person called Charlie was at a live rally in a campus in a university campus doing one of his like open air debates, which, let's be honest, they're not actually debates. They're just like, let's own the lib content. It's just all about owning the libs and just like, you know, they'll edit it and clip it together to make all the worst parts that would make him look stupid. And they'll clip together and just put all the things that make him look good and put it on and be like, oh, we own the libs. Like, it's not about debates or changing people's minds. Let's not pretend that what this was about debating people and trying to change people's minds. It was all about the content. Obviously, he is bang, bang, blood, death. But the online reaction to what has happened has been so perplexing to me and like actually completely like wild. It doesn't surprise me too much that the right wing have sort of glorified him and made him look like a martyr, really whitewashed all this problematic stuff that he said and just sort of made him out to be this sort of angelic figure who was a good Christian man who had a family, and he's like, oh, his poor beloved family is a good Christian value. Like, people are the right wing are really martyring him and making him completely whitewashed everything he said, when like in reality this is the future that he like campaigned for. He was very like, let me just make my feelings clear very start here, right? Obviously I don't condone what happened, but I'm not gonna pretend that I'm sad that he's no longer among us. I think the way that it happened and what the process of, you know, we will get into that more, was horrific, but I am in no way, shape or form sad that someone like this is no longer in the world. He was a net negative to society. He was racist, horrifically homophobic, horrifically transphobic, like every sort of phobic you could have and bigger. Unless you were literally a straight, white, very traditional man, you were scum to him. If the shoe was on the other foot and then it happened to any of the liberal people, he would have been the first on Twitter laughing, making jokes, like just doing, like they did that whole thing before about that politician that got hit with the hat. I can't remember his name now. I think was it Pelosi's husband? You know, they all pretended to be like, I'm going to use like a costume, and they used like an underwear with a hammer, being like, we're going to be her husband and things. And let's be honest, if it was the other way around, they would absolutely be celebrating. So I'm not sad in any way, shape or form. I'm not mourning his death. He was an evil person. He said awful things. He would force his 10-year-old daughter to have a baby if she was raped. That's who the hell says things like that? He said that he would love that gays would get stoned again. He was like, I want to go back to a time in the Bible where, you know, gay people were stoned to death. Like, that's the kind of rhetoric that he wanted. He also said that, you know, children bang in schools was a thing that he was more than happy to accept if it meant that he could have guns. Like, the party of like protect the children are the same people that go, you know, I'm happy for children to, you know, be unalived if it means I can have my guns. He was an evil in this planet, and he also brainwashed so many young children, teenagers, to be on like the Republican side of like Trump's side of being like this sort of really horrific far right insanity. Some of the media here in the UK portraying him to be sort of like a moderate or any kind of like, he just wanted chats of people. Like, he was in no way, shape or form a moderate. He was far right. The things that he said was far extremist right. We're not going to pretend that he was some angelic figure who just wanted to chat to people. The things that he said and did were horrific. I want to make my feelings very clear because of what I said. I don't want people to jump to conclusions before they hear me, but I'll make that clear because what I said, people might think I'm defending him or whatever. I'm in any way, shape or form not defending him. My biggest concern with a lot of this stuff is I'm really disturbed by the level of blasé and laughing and memeing of graphic imagery of what happened. I've seen the video, a close-up image, like a close-up video of it. And it wasn't complete. I saw it before I understood what was going on. I was streaming when it was happening. Was I streaming? Oh, I was doing something when it was happening, and I wasn't on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much anymore, but I was literally just on Twitter to check something, and then I saw this video out of nowhere, and then I was suddenly chatting with Luxaria and River and Aaron and stuff. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I saw this video not knowing what was going to happen. It was a close-up video, like that close-up shot of it happening with everything coming. Like, and I'm actually really glad that I saw that video and was horrified and was scared and disturbed. Like, I'm glad that was the reaction I had to the content. We're not talking about who he is or what, like, take that aside. The actual imagery of what happened, I'm so glad that I found that horrifying and disturbing, because the level of people that were like sharing it and memeing it and joking about it and like sharing this video as if it's like a video of their kids playing in a park or their friends having fun, I find so disturbing. I do not want to live in a society where we have become so desensitized to like such graphic videos that we can watch it and laugh and like meme it. And there were people putting like merchandise, like using videos and images of it and like making merchandise from it. Like, that's actually sick. Again, take away who the person is, because again, I agree, he was a scum. He was a scum. I absolutely loathed him. And again, I'm not sad that he's no longer here. I think the way that it's come about that he's no longer here, but I do think the way that it happened is really horrific. And also, you got to remember, actually being in that crowd and witnessing what happened, if I was there, I'd be traumatized. Like, that's traumatizing even if you were a right-wing person who liked Charlie, or left-wing person who hated him, even centrist people. I don't know how centrist people felt about him, but like anyone viewing that in that open place where it was happening, that would be traumatizing. Like, I think we're forgetting there are many innocent people there who didn't do anything wrong, who happened to witness that, who are probably traumatized from that event. I just find it very disturbing, the sort of blasé and desensitization that we've become with these kind of images and videos, that you happily share it and laugh. And again, it's not about him as a person. It's just about the content of what it is. Because my favorite topic in the world, right, is history. I love history. I think it's fascinating. I love to know where we came from, the past, and I love learning about stupid things in, like, you know, the Tudor period when they're putting like lead paint in their face and their makeup, and on the walls had arsenic in the wallpaper, and like this kind of stuff I love learning about just wacky history of stupid things we did in the past that we thought were right or wrong. Like, I love it. And one of my favorite eras to learn about is medieval stuff. The medieval period I have a fascination with. Like, it's why I love things like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at like Disneyland, and those kind of, like, I love medieval, like the sort of like the London dungeons and things. So much of that is like medieval themed. Like, I love medieval stuff. You know, medieval games as well. Things like Elden Ring. It's all medieval mythology. Or like, I love like medieval period. I love learning about it. There are horrific things that happened in that time. Things like public executions of the Exa, like those kind of things. And like you would take the family down into like the local town to watch people be, you know, guillotined or like hung. Like, to me, that is wild. We've got like, there was a stage where like people were so like blasé about death that you would take your children down to the local square to watch a heading of the bee, or like someone being hung, or, you know, some of the other like ways that they would like torture people: hung, drawn and quartered. They'll put them on like that big wheel and use a massive stick and then break over all of your bones. Like, there were so many different medieval like torture things that they used to do in public that people would go and view, that like I find it wild that that was a thing that people would happily do. And I don't mean to jump the gun a bit, but seeing things that have recently been happening in local world and local worlds, but local communities, and like these kind of things that have been happening, I start to get these feelings of like, are we that far away from just accepting that kind of stuff again? Because the level that people are sharing this video and memeing it, it makes me go, you seem like the kind of person that if you knew that was going to happen, you would happily go down to witness it. And that's terrifying. Like, that terrifies me. That it doesn't feel like we're that far off. We could go to a stage where people just take their families back to the local square to watch a public execution of the Xer. I know, I hate that I have to play with words. That's just YouTube. Unfortunately, you have to deal with it. Like, the person who did it is supposed to be right-wing, right? I don't think it's a left person. I know, like, all the politicians and right-wing people on Twitter are foaming at the gash to be like, oh my god, because I can't remember who it was now. There's so many different right-wing commentators now on Twitter were saying it was a transgender person, and it was absolutely not. Absolutely, you know, they will do anything they can to blame queer people. Like, it was absolutely not a transgender person, and then it turned out to be a white person, and then, like, is it not Joe Rogan? Who's the other one? The Frogs Gay man. The Frogs Gay Columbine person who was like, I've been sued for 10 billion because I said it was all fake. What's he called again? You know, that person who the Frogs Gay, the crazy one. And then he was going now, oh, but it was actually not his boyfriend was a trans woman, and that's why he did it, because he was radicalized by and like the level that they're going now to try to blame on like the trans community is so unbelievably barbaric. I just don't even understand like their obsession. And of course, like, this is fully being used now as a political, you know, weapon against left-wing people and liberals and Democrats. Like, it's fully being used against us, which is just like, I didn't want this to happen. This is not aiding us in any way, shape, or form. Am I sad that he's no longer here? Absolutely not. But I think the method in which has happened is not helping us in any way, shape, or form. But it was done by someone who wasn't like a left-wing, like it was not done by one of us. It's done by like a far-right crazy MAGA person. But we're still being blamed for it. But it's just like, it just this kind of stuff doesn't help us. And unfortunately, it wasn't like it. There's no fortunate way of doing it, but like, it's just crazy to me. I hope it's hot where he is now, because trust me, all these people are doing these memes about how he's in heaven, and this right wing going like AI of like Jesus taking him up to heaven. Oh honey, he went down. It really worries me, the desensitization that we have become now because of things like Twitter and the polarization of people, that people can watch and witness images and videos like that and not be disturbed. Because the problem is as well, we talk about then going down to the local village to watch execute, like, whatever. It also goes like, when you become so desensitized to this, and the desensitization to like humanity and people, it goes like, it sort of starts to make me go, could you do something like this yourself? Because you've lost all that kind of like shock horror about these kind of things, that how far is it that you could then go and do stuff like this yourself to someone else? And because you don't have any, it's not even about empathy or like humanity really. It's more just like how, like, we should find these things disturbing as people. Like, watching this kind of stuff is disturbing. If you've lost all of that sort of like social and mental, I guess, attachment to feelings, and I don't know what right words are to use, but when you've lost all that, it's like, how far away is it also that you could happily partake in such horrific acts and not care about it? Like, almost you'll become a bit sociopathic. Like, where does your lack of empathy suddenly disappear? I don't know. I don't think it's even empathy. I'm not sure what the right word is to use, because I have no empathy or feeling towards this person because he was a beast. But I would also not want or wish that fate on anyone, or would do that myself, or would witness something like that and be blasé by it. Like, like I said, I'm so glad that I saw that and was like, well, I'm up now for a month. Like, I can't get that image out of my mind, and I'm glad that like I'm having this reaction. But there are so many people who are just like laughing about it. Like, again, putting on merchandise is wild. I do find it funny that the right wing are now going like, we're gonna call people's jobs and cancel them and get them fired. But they're the same people that was always like, you can't get people fired for their opinions. It's so funny how like right wingers are so like insanely brain rotted to their own hypocrisy. Because some people go, well, they know what they're doing, they just don't care. No, I genuinely actually believe that these people are just so ridiculously dumb, they don't actually see hypocrisy. They don't realize. I actually think it's just because they're dumb. I don't think it's because they don't care. I mean, some people don't care, but like, I actually think it's actually just thick. They're just thick and they don't get it because they just don't have the brain capacity to understand the hypocrisy in what they're doing about the free speech thing, getting people fired. Whereas like, when it happened to them, all of a sudden it was so shocking. I just actually don't think they understand. That's why the right wingers prey on these kind of people. Like, same with like, the Reform Party here, Nigel Farage preying on like the working class people who might not have the best education, but kind of like dumb to understand that Nigel Farage actively campaigns to make your your life harder, but they trick you into thinking that they don't. The same way that Brexit happened when he lied about the whole like NHS with the bus thing. He preyed on poorer people who couldn't afford things and was like, this is all the money that could be helping you and your family is going to foreign people and it should be going to the NHS, when all of that was a lie. They prey on people like this. And this is why they win a lot of the time. The right wing in America, the Trump supporters who were saying all this stuff. Why do you think there's so many people now who voted Trump who now got deported? Like this level of pick-meism as well. The idea of being like, well, I'll be the safe one if I vote for them. Again, it's like, it's just total brain rot. They prey on brain rot. They prey on stupidity. I just don't think I don't think right-wingers understand what hypocrisy is and being a hypocrite. I don't think their brain understands it. They can't comprehend the hypocrisy here when it comes to, we'll get you fired for saying this about Charlie, but if you say it, but when we say racist, homophobic stuff, it's like, it's a scary time to be alive. And, you know, people like Elon Musk is really, really stoking the flames of this, like, right-wing civil, like, they are foaming at the gash at the idea of being able to do a civil war. The thing is, a lot of these people want this kind of stuff because they really want an excuse to go out and unalive people. This whole thing about having a civil war, the right wing, this is war, libs of TikTok, this is war, like these, and there are videos that come out now being like, oh, watch your back now, blah, blah. Like, all of these people want there to be riots and want there to be, like, civil war stuff because they are gagging to unalive people and to attack people. That's all they want to do. They are innately evil on the inside, but they need that one little excuse to do it, and they have been waiting for a moment. So, like, I sometimes believe conspiracy theories. I'm not, like, the most biggest... I love reading and watching things about it. I think it's fascinating, but, like, it wouldn't honestly surprise me if this was also done as, like, a false flag thing to stoke the flames. The whole thing about when Trump was originally, like, you know, bang bang on the ear, I fully believe that was set up. I fully believe it. There's literally, like, the way that it happened in hindsight looking at it, it was so obviously, like, to me, staged. The fact that his ear is, like, if you were actually shot and a chunk came out of your ear, there would be a scar. We've got full-on close-up imagery now of his ear, and it's like perfectly fine. Especially at his age, your body won't heal the same way as like mine would, for example. Like, you would be able to see a mark if it was, especially because of the amount of blood that was there. Like, if it was that level, you fully would be able to see it. And like, people kept saying, oh, but a father was unalived and like blah blah blah. Like, you really think Trump and the right wing wouldn't sacrifice someone to be in power? Like, are you on? This is what I mean about brain rot. Like, how are you on? You honestly believe that these people care about you? They would happily flip a switch and 10 of you unalived if it meant they could have another island. They do not care about you. Ultimately, these politicians would be more than happy if you were to be honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this was more of like a false flag stuff. I don't want to get too far into that because, like, I don't really like talking about conspiracy theory too much because you get demonetized and all that shit, but like, I don't know. I just worry, like, what's going to happen now. I'm glad that, like, it wasn't in the UK, but even in the UK, it's being a bit crazy. Like, you know, in the weekend we have, and in the UK, we're having a lot of this sort of, like, race war kind of stuff brewing because of, like, people like Tommy Robinson, Katie Hopkins, GB News, all of these things, like, again, stoking the flames of racial hatred because, and Nigel Farage, for example, this is what they're doing now. They did it with Brexit, and he's doing it now with elections and want to become in power. He's blaming immigrants and migrants, and sure, I am sure there are some things that are happening that I don't understand that are problems and things, but as a whole, migrants coming here is not the reason why your life is shit. Transgender people is not the reason why your life is shit. Blocking people going into the country is not suddenly going to make you a millionaire. Blocking trans people from actually getting healthcare is not going to suddenly make your life any better. Like, these things that these sort of political, social war things that people, what's it called? There's a word for it. Oh god, there's a culture war stuff that Nigel Farage and all these people are stoking is because they want to stay in power and they know that they can use it to scare you to vote for them because they'll go, we'll save you. Again, Nigel Farage said this about the NHS and Brexit, and that was all a lie. So how these people can't see when they're talking about migrants and stuff, it's all a lie again. It's all a lie. And again, I'm sure there are problems that I don't understand, and that can be addressed. People coming over here, migrants being in the country, ultimately is a net positive. Then saying, ban them all, get all the immigrants out, that's not going to make your life any better. And you're the same people then that will go down the local Chinese and happily eat Chinese food or Indian food or Mexican food. Like, transgender people getting rights is not the reason why you can't afford healthcare or you can't afford your house. Or like, it's just so ludicrous. Like, it's so ludicrous that these kind of ideas are being peddled by the right wing in the UK, that migrants are the reason why you can't afford your bills. Like, it's just ludicrous. I don't mean to be doomsday, but the world at the moment is a scary place. It is a scary time to be alive, and I'd be lying if it hasn't affected me and my friends. Like, as much as I come on here and be like, I love it, like, you know, all the stuff that's going on with Israel-Palestine at the moment is just absolutely shocking. Like, I just don't, like, where's that going? Like, how was that ever going to end? Because at the moment, it feels like nothing's going to end now. It's just going to be completely wiped out. Like, nothing seems to be going on with that. Like, that's terrifying. Again, the president of peace that's trying to fix all the wars and said he was going to come in and, like, the Ukraine-Russia invasion was going to end day one. It's now been almost a year since he won the election. I know he's not been in power at the time, but, like, has that stopped? I don't think so. Again, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, that was gonna stop. Doesn't look like it, sis. It's just balmy, like, what's gonna happen with the world. And again, I know people come to my channel for an escape. I don't normally talk about this kind of stuff because I want it to be an escape for people. I can't help but, like, just this most recent thing that just happened and all the glorification of, like, this horrific video, it just brung me back to that sort of scared moment of, like, are we really that far away now from people happily going to watch public execution of the Exa? Like, are we honestly going to get to that stage now? We were going back to the medieval times where we thought it was fun for a family activity to go watch the local person be unalived. And again, I'm not mourning him. I think he was scum, and I'm glad that he's no longer part of this existence. But this isn't really about him. It's more about the video and what's going on with the world. And the right wing are foaming at the gash to make a civil war. The right wing in the UK are foaming at the gash for more culture war stuff. I just don't get it. And, like, I feel like it's quite obvious how I politically align myself. But, like, obviously I'm a left wing person. I'm not far left. Like, I think far left and far right are both bad in itself. I'm not centrist in any way, shape or form. I definitely have strong opinions on things, and I don't sort of float between, like, I am a lefty, but, like, I'm not far left, because I think being far left or right is a negative in itself. But, like, I'm not saying all this stuff because I'm just a left-wing person. I'm saying as a human that we shouldn't be happy to see this kind of media and it not be phased. Like, that should not be a thing that we just see and not be phased by. Children, like, starving and stuff should never be a stage where we're like, oh, it's just happening. Like, no, that should shock you. That should shock you. And if it doesn't, then that's a big telling on humanity of where we are. I don't know, I just get worried. It just scares me for the future, and I just don't know where we go from here and how we stop this polarization and how we stop this just, like, insanity of desensitization. And unfortunately, Twitter itself is becoming, again, I don't really use Twitter anymore. I stopped actively trying to grow Twitter a long time ago, and, like, I'm actively, like, my follower number goes down quite drastically all the time. I just kind of post my videos there now and go, like, new video live go, because people are just leaving the app. The whole app is now it's become almost becoming Truth Social. I would say Twitter now used to be quite a balance of left and right wing people. I feel like the majority is just 25% left and 75% right wing people, and then, like, bots infiltrating everything as well. Like, Twitter is becoming just this sort of, like, horrific right-wing social media app now, which is why I don't use it anymore, which is why, like, all my followers are going on there. Like, worries me that these platforms are becoming such a cesspit of just, like, really cultivating these hateful places where people are becoming radicalized. Yeah, I don't know where we go. And, like, our government now is so corrupt. Like, I was happy when the Tories got voted out. I didn't vote Labour. I voted Green. Where I am, Green won. And it was a nice seat. I'm glad that I was able to vote for at least a party that I wanted to win rather than something I didn't. Like, I really hate the lesser of two evils, but I still agree sometimes doing the lesser of two evils is still a game that you have to play sometimes. So, like, I was glad that Labour won over Tories, but we always knew that Labour was kind of like Tory in sheep's clothing. But I didn't realise that they would be just as bad. I thought they would be somewhat more progressive than Conservatives were, but it's like they're just as bad. We all kind of thought they were just more like Diet Tory, but not just Tories. Like, the Labour Party at the moment has been absolutely horrific on many issues, things that affect me and my community. The way that they've attacked LGBT people is really shocking. Especially, like, there was images of, like, Keir Starmer, the vice prime minister, all that stuff, being like, marching with pride parades, being like, protect LGBT people, and now they're like, let's take all of your rights away. Like, censoring LGBT content on the internet with this whole, like, Internet Safety Act. Like, again, this censorship that's just happened in the UK, and they want to say it's protecting children from watching pornography. And again, I think children should be blocked from watching pornography. That should be a thing that parents do, though. Stop being lazy, parents, and block what your children are seeing on the internet. But like, to wildly just block every single person on the internet from actually like watching content they want to watch is wild. This absolutely should have been an opt-in, not an opt-out. And like, it's not because I'm like, oh boo-hoo, I can't watch pornography. If I really want to, it's very easy to find your way around it. But like, they've also censored like LGBT places, LGBT information. I talked about the whole like Reddit with the whole period thing. I need to check. I don't know if it's still marked now as unsafe, but like the Reddit for young people to learn about periods was censored for over 18s. Like, young people coming into adolescence and puberty, and you're censoring a platform where they could have learnt about periods. How is that protecting children? LGBT content has been censored. Like, and many other things on Wikipedia being censored. Like, with censoring information, we're becoming, like, it feels like a dictatorship. Like, it becomes like you can't witness all this. Do you know what people did that kind of stuff? Sitler. Sadolf Sitler is the kind of person that censored information. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, whatever one it is, censoring information. Like, this is where we're going. This is what you want. And I don't care about the pornography thing. I don't give a shit about that. Children shouldn't be watching that kind of stuff. I watched that when I was way too young than I should have been. It really affected my understanding of bodies and what real bodies are and body issues. I agree that, but again, that should be the parents' responsibility. Stop being lazy parents. You can easily phone up like the company I'm with. You can tell them to block certain websites. You can get tools that block pornography websites. You can do that. This isn't about protecting children. It's about harvesting your data. I'm not going to upload my driver's license, my passport, to some third-party adjudicator, is that the word? To like see if I'm old enough. You're just giving your data away to random American third-party. Like, what are we doing? This isn't about protecting children. It's about data harvesting and data mining and surveillance. And like, again, this isn't a left or right wing kind of thing. This is a thing that it's just fact. It's not about conspiracy theories. Like, this wasn't about protecting children. And the thing is, what happens, like most things, you have this one thing, you become desensitized to it, and you accept it as reality, and they don't change. And suddenly then they stop you accessing like information that could be against, you know, Keir Starmer, for example. It might come out that he did something awful. Take America with the Epstein whole stuff. Like Trump. No one's talking about that letter anymore because of what's just happened, which is why I'm like, oh, is this the thing that was set up? No one's talking about the letter that he sent. But like, this is what I mean. Say this happened in the UK and it happened with one of our politicians here. You go, oh, now we'll censor information that might show that said politician was involved. We'll censor this website and say it's protecting children, but you're censoring the public from knowing that this politician did something awful. And this is the road that you go down when you start doing the online censorship stuff. And again, with America, we talk about the like sort of gun stuff. Like, I'm so glad that I've never seen a gun in my life. I've never seen a real gun in my life. I've only seen like pellet guns that police sometimes have, but like I've never seen an actual like real gun. I mean, sometimes I guess if they go around the palace and things, sometimes they might be real, but like I've never really seen guns in my life, and I'm very glad that I can say that. But like, Charlie, for example, was an advocate for guns. What happened to him is something that he actively like advocated for. He said that civilian casualties was going to happen, and he was happy to have civilian casualties if it meant he could have gun. This is the kind of country and rhetoric and culture that he actively campaigned for. He wanted this kind of country. The fact that like a school bang bang happened on the same day as the Charlie thing, yet I know no information about that. Without having to really look into it myself, news reporters weren't doing it. I only found out because someone else told me that it happened at the same time. Not because I saw it on a news show, that there were children that were injured in a mass, again, bang bang, in their school on the same day. No one's talking about it. Children that you want to protect. The party of protecting children, the ones that are going guns for all. Like, and the problem is actually, with America and the whole gun stuff, the sad reality of it is it's becoming like a universal opinion, not like a right or left wing opinion about having them. It's like, I have friends who live in America who have guns, and the only reason they have it is because they feel like now, because of how common they are and how many people who hate them have it, they feel like they need it now because of the culture that's been cultivated in America around guns. Like, they feel like they can't be safe now without it because of how horrific gun control is and how right-wingers and all these crazy people have all these guns, they feel now they have it, which I don't like that, and I hate that they need them. But I would never, like, I would obviously, my perfect reality would be like Europe and most of the world. Guns are not allowed to the general public. Like, you just can't have them. But I don't criticize my left-wing people friends in America for having it for that reason. I hate them, and I think they should be completely abolished. But, like, it's not even a thing of, like, just the right wing like it and the left wing don't. Like, there are many left wing people that also have them for those reasons of, like, they feel like they need them now. Even people that might not necessarily want them have them because they feel like they need to have them. Like, America and the gun stuff is just absolutely shocking. They're completely disillusioned as well. Like, how did that person have that kind of weapon that can shoot from 200, was it 200 yards? Feet? Meters? I don't know. Like, how was it not just fully just limited to just handgun? Like, that should just be the limit. I mean, I don't have anything, but like, why is it not limited to that? The fact that you can have like these sort of like semi-automatic rifles and shit, I've seen. And maybe I did. The fact that you can have anything more than just a simple handgun, like, why do you need anything else? If it's just for your protection, why are we having these? Like, why do we need like these semi-automatic rifles and stuff? Like, what? America is really cooked. It's just United States. I'm not sure what the laws are in Mexico, but like in South America and stuff. But like the United States is. I don't know. I don't really know what this video is. I'm just sort of chatting about my words and stuff. But yeah, I think what happened was shocking and horrific, and no one should have to deal with that, regardless of how hateful they are. Going through that kind of ending is not good. But that being said, I'm not sad that he's not here. I'm not mourning his loss. He was a cunt, and I'm glad that he's now burning in hell. I don't like how it happened, but I'm also not sad that he's no longer here. I think the way that it happened isn't helpful for anyone, right or left-wing people. This is not a net positive to the world of, you know, humanity. Him not being around in the way that it happened has not helped anyone. In the ideal world, he would have just like gone from natural causes. I'm just kind of repeating myself now, but yeah, I don't know. Ding dong, the witch is dead. There's no mourning the wicked. Let me know how you feel. I'm sorry this video is a bit of a downer compared to normal ones, but yeah, I just wanted to chat. Thank you to all my lovely Patreons, of course. Lots of love to you. Feels weird to be like, hit the like button, hit the like button. I'll see you soon. My next video will be obviously a bit more positive. I'm actually going to do a video all about 1 year of being a cat dad. So that's my next video. So you can send me questions to ask, maybe on my Instagram. I'll do like a little poll on my Instagram. You send me questions about asking about my cats and what it's like being a cat dad after a year. But yeah, anyway, lots of love. Goodbye. God.